everybody in the Big Ten is going to play good defense. What stands out to me, that's why we're all here. It's why I'm here. It's why this coaching staff's here. It's why the majority of our players came here is for Big Ten football. The highest level of football. I'm excited about it. I dabbled in it last year for 3 games. It was awesome. So looking forward to 9 of them. So no disrespect to Michigan at all. I'm just excited about Big Ten play. So, with that becomes a lot of challenges. There's a lot of really good defense that's played in this league, and Michigan certainly set the standard for that for a long time. So I've never competed against them. That excites me. They got a great coaching staff. They got great players, great tradition. It's something that we understand as well. So just really excited for the opportunity.
What did you learn about what sets maybe Big Ten defenses apart from those games last year?
Toughness, physicality. It's typically low scoring games. Opposite of the Big 12, so to speak. I do think that we played some pretty good defense throughout the course of my last 15 years or whatever, but it's week in, week out. Everybody's going to have a solid physical defense that is sound and well coached with good players. So just really excited for the opportunity, man.
Coach, obviously this is the type of games that Dylan kind of came to Nebraska for. Have you kind of talked to him about what this atmosphere is going to be like? I know he's played at Memorial Stadium, but this is a big game that a lot of fans have circled on their schedule for a couple of years.
He told me. He's seen it a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
I look back at the last 2 weeks and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Game 1 at Cincinnati was incredible. With our fan base. Then the night game was something that I hadn't experienced here, and then you turn around, you go, oh, it's going to look like at 11 o'clock. I've been in that situation to where it's been great, and then 11 a.m. it's hot, and it's kind of, you know what I mean? And that didn't exist here last week, so I don't know what to expect other than greatness, and I know he's looking forward to it. I know I am. I know Coach Rule is. This is a big game because all of them are big, and so we know who the opponent is, and it's our job to know everything about them, man. What they're doing defensively, who they are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their plan of attack is, and then on Saturday, thinking that we know what they're going to do and having to adjust what they are doing. It's just part of our job.
You might be more familiar with Biff Poggi than anybody here. What do you expect from him, knowing what you know about his ability to coach?
Oh yeah, I'd go way back with him. My son played for him for a while when he was at St. Francis. He brings a lot of energy now, and he's a good football coach, and his kids play hard for him. That's what I remember about it. I don't know anything about what happened at Charlotte, but just from back when he was at St. Francis, they had national teams and a lot of talent. I recruited that school for a long time and took kids out of there as much as I possibly could because their talent was so good. They got some of those kids on Michigan's team right now. So he's gonna get those guys ready to play.
What do you know about what did Oklahoma do defensively just to kind of give Michigan problems a couple weeks ago when they won that game in Norman?
What did Michigan do defensively? You say Oklahoma did defensively.
I'm sorry. Yeah, what did Oklahoma do to kind of give Michigan problems?
Yeah, well, quarterback run game, which we're not going to do much of that, obviously. But they hit him on some deep balls. Oklahoma's quarterback's a good player. It's the first time I've seen him play. He was a West Coast kid, and so I didn't know anything about him. But he's extremely competitive, extremely athletic. Gave them problems in the quarterback run game. So some of that video is useful for us. Some of that video is not useful for us. I've watched everything that Michigan did last year, and the games that they did this year, so there's things that we'll be able to take from it, but probably the main thing was the quarterback run game, but the kid did do a good job of putting the ball in play in the pass game, a lot of empty stuff, and we'll be able to take what we can from him.
They've surrendered some yards to Oklahoma's tight end in that game. I mean, have you looked at some of that tape and talked to Luke about how you can get a little more open this weekend?
Yeah, I didn't think Luke played very good last week.
Mhm.
As much as I've been up here bragging about him, I mean, if it doesn't look very good, I'm gonna say it doesn't look very good, you know, and so I don't think Luke played very well last week. And so that's gonna motivate him regardless of who we play or what the defensive structure is. He's always gonna have a role in our offense regardless of what defense is doing, you know, just the way that we spread things around, the way that we run the ball with tight ends. I mean, he's gonna have a valuable role in every game, you know, and so I know he had a big week, but he's got to get refocused, and we need a little bit more out of him.
Where did he come up a little short, just about total evaluation?
Oh, just, you know, I mean, obviously he had the drop pass early, which I've never seen him drop a pass. Not in practice, not in the game.
Right.
You know, bragged about him and his reliability and just always doing the right thing. Some things in the run game didn't look great for him. You know, I'm not here trying to kill Luke. That's not the purpose of this. But you know, he knows it. He had a good practice out there today, and he's, you know, to answer your question, he's going to be a valuable part of what we do in every game plan.
Your deep red zone offense, what do you guys need to do to kind of take that next step when you're inside the 10-yard line?
Can't waste plays. You know, that first drive where we didn't score, and I know that's a topic, and it's on Coach Rule's mind. We got to score when we're inside the 5. We do. I've talked about that since the day I got here. I showed him, you know, the 4 Big Ten CFP teams last year were all 70 plus. That goal is 70. We've been 66, 66, and 64 or something like that, right? And so, which is a lot better than last year. You know, last year is in the 40s. Okay, and so we have took a step in that direction. We've worked it. We got to continue to work it, but yeah, we've just wasted a couple plays down there. You know, like last week on 3rd and 5, the 2 receivers didn't get the check. I mean, that's just flat out unacceptable. You know, and so we wasted that play. You know, the play before that, you know, we tried a pass to Dane that we've worked. We can't work it anymore. Okay, and he just got to run that route a little bit more sudden. He got into him, the guy grabbed him, which if you get into him, the guy's going to grab you. So you got to be more sudden and get through that. So Dylan threw, I thought was a pretty good pass, but he couldn't get to it. That's a wasted play. So, you know, the other stops were later in the game. You know, I probably would have called that a little bit differently if it would have been, you know, our black team in there instead of our white team in there. No excuse. Everybody's got to have an opportunity to execute. They need to go in there and execute when they have that opportunity to play. Okay, but it's improved from last year. It's not what it needs to be for what our goal is. Okay, and so we just need to not waste plays and keep moving forward. You know, I do think we were an efficient offense last week. We had 1 negative play, which was victory. Well, I'll take that. You know, that was the only negative play that we had the entire day. That's been something that we focused on going forward, not backwards. We, you know, 2 penalties, no turnovers. 55% critical downs, which we'd like to have a couple of those back. But for the most part, I think our offense is efficient. And as quality of play goes up, which it will in the Big Ten, then our quality of play needs to go up as well.
Hey, Coach, when what's the challenge like coaching quarterbacks when I'm looking at a defense that shows something, the safety shows something pre-snap, and then after the snap they rotate into something different? Just what's the thought process of trying to coach those guys to deal with that?
Yeah, it's simulated looks, simulated pressures, simulated looks. We see it all the time. I mean, there's nobody's better at it than this group that's coming in here in past situations. So, you know, it's film study, it's personnel, it's alignments, trying to get a beat on who's lining up where and where we think they're going to end up. I mean, very rarely does anybody just line up and play what they look like, right? So, you know, that's not Saturday. That's your preparation from Sunday to Saturday. As far as you know, what kind of preparation that you put in, how much film study you put in, what it looks like at practice. It was hot out there today. We got our work done, you know, and so, you know, Wednesday's the next step. Got meetings that we'll look at it, and then more installation stuff tomorrow, and then, you know, Thursday it's got to be better. Friday it's got to be better. To what point to where you get to the game, you're confident based on the fact that you've prepped the right way for the previous six days, you know. And so, yeah, it's tricky. I mean, this is a pro-style defense. I mean, this coordinator is elite. You know, he's an NFL caliber coach, you know, and that's good. That's going to challenge us, and we're going to see how prepared we are on Saturday.
Is the run game where you want it right now?
Yeah, it's better. It's better than what I thought it was last year. I think Emmett's running extremely hard. It'd be good to get Micaiah back. Ives took a step in the right direction, and so, obviously everything starts up front, and Dylan with being able to get under center and get us into the right play. That hopefully it's better this week than it was. It's just constant improvement. I think we're where we need to be now, especially with Emmett running the ball as hard as he does, and as versatile as he is. There's always room for improvement.
What are the top couple things you've seen from Dylan through 3 games that maybe could translate the most into Big Ten play?
Putting the ball in play. I think we're doing a fantastic job of putting the ball in play. That is something that I talk to him about nonstop. Not wasting plays. Not. And what do I mean by wasted plays? Well, it's incompletions. It's throwaways. It's pressure. It's not running the ball when we need to run the ball. He's a student of the game, and so he's done a great job of knowing the game plan and executing the game plan to where we put the thing in play as much as we can.
What does your running back spot look like after Emmett this week? Is it Quentin? Is it Mackay? What do you look at for that number 2 job if you go with another back in this game?
Yeah, we'll see what practice looks like. See what the tape looks like. We'll see what practice looks like tomorrow, and just that's a constant evaluation, not only at running back but at every position. And so we're repping 3 groups. At this point in the season, I've never been anywhere where we could rep 3 groups, and so we're doing that. And young kids are going to keep getting better, the Moseys of the world, and they're going to keep getting better to the point to where I thought Ike had a great practice, and so I got to, as a coordinator, can consistently, what can we do to put the guys that deserve the reps, get them the ball with the game plan, and then call it the appropriate way to be able to get those guys in there that deserve those reps and deserve those touches.
Dana, does the confidence that you've gained in Latif the last 2 weeks impact anything as far as the way that you look at I assume the long-term future it does, but the short-term future?
No, not the short-term future. I think our starters playing at a pretty high level.
Do you take
so,
more risks? Do you game plan any different? at all?
No, my job's to keep Dylan on his feet, and protect him. He's playing at an elite level, and we don't care about recognition at this point. We got 9 opportunities ahead of us that's what that's for. Okay, so he's got to meet that challenge, but it gives me great comfort from a backup role. There's no doubt. He is comfortable when he's in there. Obviously it makes the room good. And he's took those reps and he just keeps getting better. I didn't know what it was going to look like on game day, and geez, it looked better. It looked better Saturday than it did the previous Saturday. And so he's calm. He's communicating well. His completion percentage is high. He can do some things with his feet, which, in practice out there, he would do that, but I'm like, it ain't real. Just try to throw the ball somewhere, because I don't know if that's real or not. We're not going to know until it's live. And yeah, he's done a good job with his feet, and I think that brings a different element to that position.
You mentioned Ike practicing well. Is he one of those guys who fits into helping replace Bonner, and how do you feel that process has gone, I guess?
Yeah, it does, because, Wood brought so much to the table from, backing up Ja'Cory, giving us good solid reps at receiver, but that physicality that he brought, 1 with the ball in his hands, 2 with how he ran routes. You can say, well, receivers don't run with physicality. Well, they can run through things, and he did a phenomenal job of that. And then obviously the blocking element to it. And, that's something that we're doing with Ike a little bit, Carter Nelson as well. But, Ike's the one that's made that jump. I think he'll continue to make that jump.